Hi everybody, it's Janet with Fruit of the Vine Art Studio here. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful day. We are into fall at this point, and as we know, when fall comes around, I start concentrating on Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year, I have to admit it. So anyway, let me just pull it up here on the computer real quick. And that way, if you hop on, I would love it if you would just say hi, tell me where you're watching from. That way I also know that I'm on the right page at the right time. Here we go. I don't know what it's doing. Every time it seems like it's one thing or another, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and play with the computer, that's for sure. Maybe I can get it to pop up in a minute. Maybe if I just hit like that. What we're going to do today is I've got another wood cutout for us here, and this is going to be Halloween themed, obviously. It says, "Welcome My Pretties," and it's got a neat little spider, a spider web, and a witch's hat on it. I think that is so cute, and I think it's going to turn out absolutely adorable. I'm going to be using some orange paint, black paint, apple green, white, and purple. So without any further ado, I'm going to tilt you down. We're going to get started, and let's get painting. Now, I know this is going to appear backwards to you here when you go to look at the lettering, because, of course, my phone doesn't flip it around, or I have yet to learn how to flip it around. Anyway, maybe that's the problem. It's not that the phone can't do it, but I can't figure it out. Of course, that can always be an issue. I'm going to turn this. The first thing I'm going to do to this, I want this to have a good, I want it to show up really well. And since this is a white spider web on here, I'm going to paint the entire background with white first, just to get started. That way it'll have a nice base coat to it, and all the other colors will show up much better. And I'm hoping that it'll make it a little bit easier for the web in itself. So I'm just going to put some white paint literally right on here. And I'm going to get this sponge brush here. He's still a little wet. I've used him earlier today. And I'm just going to start putting a layer of white on. And I need a little more than that, that's for sure. Let me get some more white paint. There we go. That should be more than enough. Now you'll notice that, yes, you kind of see that it is going over my lines, but that's okay because once that dries, I will be able to see everything through it perfectly. I'm not worried about that. And I'm just getting a good coverage of it here, and I know I've got more than enough paint in here. So as I'm going where it's not wanting to color, I'm just pressing down with my brush and making it fill it in. Getting any of the excess that I've got on the edges here, I'm going to get that off. Just a quick coverage. That's all I need. I'm going to scrub it into the lines because I want all of the lines to be filled. I can still see them, and that's what matters. They are visible. This will give a nice base coat to it. I'm just going around the outside of it. That needs to be smoothed down right here. Look, got something on there. Piece of paper. It flew off. We're not going to worry about it. Okay, that looks like a good coat. I got a streak right there. Let me just go around the edges of it here. Too much paint on right there. Yeah, my computer just turned itself off again. I don't understand that thing here recently. We are having some kind of an issue with our Wi-Fi, I believe. And I don't know what to do to it. To fix it. I don't know what to do to fix it, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to keep painting. Look up here and make sure that I'm actually online. I am. So what the computer's doing, I don't know. I'm just going around the edges of it. Getting it all good and covered here with the white. Okay. That looks like that's very well covered to me. It's got a nice layer on there. Now this will just take a moment to dry. Go around the edge real quick again. And I'm just going to put this brush in some water. I'm not going to be using this sponge brush at this point. Get me a drink of Coke while it dries. I appreciate you guys being with me. I'm going to zoom you out just a little bit. This seems like it's just slightly too close. There, that way I can not worry about exactly where I have it sitting. I want you to be able to see it. But I also want to be able to turn it, and it's still going to show up in places for you without me having it always in the exact same spot. I'm just going to wipe this down a little bit to help quicken this drying process for us. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start working on my background. I'm going to make my background orange. So I'm going to get me out some pumpkin orange. That's what I'm using here. Put some on my palette. I'm just going to use a flat brush. Now I'm going to make the whole background orange. I'm going to make the wording a light green color. So I'm not going to worry about the orange being on the bottom for the wording on it. The wording will go right over top of the orange, I'm sure. So I'm just going to paint this part of it just orange. And it is just a little bit wet, so the orange is mixing just slightly with the white, but that's all right. I'm not worried about that. This is just for a background color. Might have to take my sweater off here to avoid getting my arms all in it. Now the hat's going to be black, so I'm not worried at all about the orange getting in this area. I'm worried about that dog hair getting in it, though. Let me get that out of there. There we go. So I'm just going to continue painting this with the orange. Another little dog hair right there. Coco must have been up here running around some, huh? She always is, though. She's a good girl. All right. Excuse me, that Coke making my belly bubble. All right, I'm going to bring this right in here. Right around where the spider web is. Now I'm going to try to maintain that white area where the spider web is. by just painting around it. Now, we'll probably be going over it with some white, though, I'm sure. But for now, we're just going to paint around that area. Right in here. That's got a little boogie in it. I'm going to pull that off. A little boogie. Sometimes when the paint, heat affects paint. And, you know, these paints sit up here in the summertime all along through the summer. And they get a little warm. There's times when it's slightly warm up here in the studio. And the heat will affect your paints and make them thicker. Now, if you notice that you're having a problem with that, you can always take them and maybe store them in your basement or something like that, where it's a little cooler. But if you're like me, it's probably the easiest thing to do is just add a little bit of water to your paints to thin them down a little bit more again. And just pull the little boogies out as you go. That's what I do. I just pull them out. I'm going to turn this a little bit. And work on this right over here. Now I'm using this bigger flat brush just to get this around the edges. I'm not going to use it on the inside of the spider's web. I'm going to use a smaller flat brush. Although this is a good flat brush right here. This brush, I do like this brush. And it's just a Craft Smart. I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's just a Craft Smart brush from Michaels. Bring it around this curve right here. There's a little orange area that's going to be right in here in the hat. But I'm just going to pull this right over it. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Let me get this extra paint off. It goes to right here. Turn it just a little bit here to where I can, I don't know if you can see the lines anymore where I'm working. The lines are probably kind of blurred out from where I used the white. But don't worry, you will see it once I get to painting here. Which is what I'm doing anyway, huh? Once I get to painting. I am painting. Yeah. Anybody got big plans for the weekend? It's kind of chilly here. We are having our first full weekend of fall, and I'm telling you, it certainly came in, and it is fall. Nice and chilly out there. We're having some rain. Okay, I'm going to turn this around again. I'm not going to worry about the little spider down here either because he's going to be black, so I can just put the orange over it and not worry about it. Just got a little glob right there. I'm just going to pull that off. Slapping it around, huh? That's what I'm just slapping on some paint, guys. I'm just slapping it on. Get this covered. I can see the line goes right here. And I just take my paintbrush and kind of push it up to that area. I just drag it back and forth, kind of smushing it as I'm doing it. I'm just dragging it back and forth, though. And if you get it over the line, you don't have to worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's design by line. It's got the lines cut into it, so you see them. You may not be able to see them. I can see all of the lines while I'm painting here. It's not a problem at all. And I have these great little kits if anybody's interested in this. And it's wood, 12 inches, with the design already cut into it. So you don't have to worry about, I'm not going to be able to see it. Oh, yes, you can. It's cut right into the wood. You see it very, very easily. At least when you're here and in this perspective looking at it, you see it very easily. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to get a little more orange, and I'm going to start working on the insides of the web. Right up to the line, bring it across this way. I'm going to have to get me a little more orange paint out. Just going to pull this right here, and I'm going to get ready to retire this brush at this point and get a smaller flat brush. Because he's done about as good as he can do. I'm going to get the rest of the paint out of it. Okay, put him there. Get my smaller flat brush. And a little more orange paint out. Okay, and I'm just going to bring it right along through here. Let me turn this a little bit. Get this side. And if I get a little bit over the line, it's all right. I can always take white and go right back and fix it up. It's not a big deal. Right in this little corner. Here we go. Do this one. Down to that little corner. Put some of it over here. I gotta straighten this out right here. A little bit extra paint there. I'm gonna pull it up. Just get it on the tip of this brush. Bring it over here. Just keep going and filling in these little spots in the cobweb. Get this right here, right up against the line. There we go. You can kind of see the cobweb beginning to show now, right? And it's showing up much better at this point. Hey, Steve, thanks for joining me. I appreciate that. I know I'm in the right place at the right time. Somebody's watching, and I can see that there is a comment, and we're on the right page. Because, gosh, guys, I mean, I've been in the First Fruits Clubhouse this morning, and you know, you might find me on Original Pet Rocks. I could be here on Fruit of the Vine. I could be over in the Clubhouse. I might be on Change Rocks. I got to make sure I'm in the right place at the right time. And sometimes it can be kind of confusing. Just a little. I'll think I'm in the right place. I've been before on the wrong page, being live, and have to stop and move myself to the right spot. It's happened before. Not often, but it has happened. There we go, right up to there. Just filling in the cobweb. The background, actually. I'm not filling in the cobweb. I'm filling in the background behind the cobweb. Let's work on this one. Pull it right up to there. Has anybody got their decorations up for Halloween yet? I have not done that. I can say that. I've got a lot of stuff out, but I haven't got anything put up. Nothing's put up yet. Let's try this one. Need to get this down just a little bit right here. That's better. So we're just filling this one in now. Got a small little area right over there. I feel like I might be trying to get up on it too far. I don't want to do that. There we go. A lot of times we get ourselves so involved with what we're painting that we're right on top of it. Right on top of it. Don't want to do that. Move yourself back, get a little breathing room. Enjoy what you're doing. Excuse me. I want to take another drink of that Coke, but it's making me burp. Good old CO2, huh? Just pulling this up. Right up into this little corner here. There we go. Let's get this little guy here. To this little corner. Right over through here. Need to bring this down just a little bit right there. over to here. There we go. Let's just keep working here. Work on this. Is this dry? Good. I'm going to work on this right here. And as I said, I'm not too worried about it getting out of the line over here because this is going to be a black hat. So the black will easily cover any orange that I get over there. Of course, I don't want to just glob it onto the hat neither. It doesn't need to have a big thick layer of orange under it. There we go. Bring this right up here. I'm so ready for a bonfire. I think it's the perfect weather for that, really. I was talking about it earlier today. I'm ready. I was talking about it yesterday. I am ready. Get outside and have a fire. It's that time. Sit out there and make some s'mores, drink some hot chocolate. Sounds like a good time to me. Now there's a little spot right in here. And right there. And right here. Well, we don't have to worry too much about it because it's just a little bit on the hat. That's all right. Got a little bit out of the line there. May have to touch that with a smidge of white before we're through. Right around like that. Into this little corner. I lay my brush flat down right in the middle to try to get all the excess paint off of it. And that way I can use it, because a lot of times the paint gets all up here around the furrow. And that's not helping anything. I need it to be brought down to the tip of my brush. So I'll just lay the brush down flat on the board, on the wood. And that way the paint will just come off of it. And I can use that paint now. There we go. Let's work on this one right here. I'm trying to not work myself into a corner where my hand's going to be touching it somewhere. But sometimes I feel like I'm doing that anyway. This one comes down to a little point right there. There we go. This almost looks like a little H in here. That little spot. Almost can just pull it real simple across there, and it's just filling it in. This one goes up a little bit. Curves around and goes up again. Works its way down right to there. Okay, I probably should work on a couple of these before I get too far down. See, there's another boogie. And see it hanging on there? Yeah, we don't want that in the paint. We're just going to take that and take it right off of there and put it on our paper. Put it on our paper towel off to the side. Get a little paint boogie from where it's gotten thickened. Hardest thing is when that's in the middle of the bottle and you're trying to squeeze the paint out of the bottle and it shoots out all over the place and makes a mess. Hate when it does that. Okay, we're going to work a little further over here now. Very easy. It looks complicated, but it's not. It's very easy to do. And any little spots that you get over, don't worry about it. You can always just go back. There are no mistakes. As I always say, there are no mistakes. You can just let it dry, paint over it. It's not a big deal. And if you do something you don't like what you did, just let it dry. If it's a small little thing that you can take care of right away, grab you a baby wipe or just a paper towel with some plain clear water on it. And you can usually get it off immediately if you take care of it right then. But if not, and it's already dry, it's, too past that point and it's drying, just let it dry. Don't keep trying to mess with it, just let it dry and then go back, paint over it. There we go. Let's get this one right here. And you feel like you have to get it all the way up to the very edge of the line. You really do not. From a distance, nobody's going to see those lines. They're just there to guide you. And it makes it so easy to paint these things that way when you can see the lines. They're so well. You can see them so easily. It's like, oh, this just makes it simple. I love these designed by lines. There we go. This one. Let's see, let's put this right in here first. Right up to there. And then we'll come over here and work on this one that I put a little bit of paint in and then didn't finish it. This is just a long, skinny piece right here. Goes all the way down. Right into there. We're about to get our spider web done, guys. I'm getting that little dog hair off of there. There we go. I don't want that dog hair in my painting. Although that's just sprinkled with love by Coco. That's all that is. Just a little bit of Coco. Okay, just fill this in real easy. Don't even worry about it. Okay, Now we see the spider web really well, don't we? It shows up great that way. And the rest of it's going to be peachy easy, guys. Super simple. Let's go ahead and get out the black, because we'll do the hat. Well, we'll do the hat and the spider next. So rinse off your brush. Get your little black paint out. I'm going to have to get me a new black. That guy's just about gone. That's okay. Okay, rinse that off. I'm not too worried about the orange still being in there. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever because we're going to paint this hat black. And the orange is not going to show. I see the line right there. Right here. It comes straight up through. Around a little curve right there. Bring it right along this right here. Curves down and over. The tip of the hat comes down to right here. Bringing it right around the top. See the outline right through here. Right along through here. Cute little witch's hat. Okay. Make sure this is dry before I touch it, yeah. The hat comes down right here. There we go. That fills our hat in real well. I got a big glob of paint right there. I can see it. And I'm just picking up excess. Ooh, I did get a little orange on me, didn't I? Gotta be careful. It's not all completely dry. I don't want to put my hand flat down on there, do I? You never know. Gotta be careful. Okay, now this hat comes right around through here. Turn this. Get a little more of it on my brush here. see the line, and I'm trying to make sure that the line is completely filled in with paint so that it doesn't show up like a little etching along the edge. There we go. It comes all the way over to here into the spider web. Like that. Right into this etching here. I want to get that filled. There we go. Get it all the way down through here. There we go. Oops, got my paper towel hanging on me. Right across through the bottom of here. When you're doing this, like I said, when you have this actual kit in front of you, you really can see how well the lines are cut in it and how easy that makes this for you. You don't have to stress about it or worry about it. You can easily see everywhere that you need to paint. All right, through here. Let me get a little bit of this extra paint. Smooth it down just a tiny bit. There we go. Now we've got this little spider guy that we need to paint too. And I'm thinking maybe I need to get my little brush out for that one instead of using the flat brush. Although I could probably do it with that flat brush, but I just want to make sure that his little legs don't get too wide and too crazy looking using that flat brush. So I'm going to use this little bitty brush to just do these legs. There we go. It looks like it's actually stopped raining now. It might be an all right day. They said it's going to rain tomorrow too. So we will try to get out and enjoy what little bit of the pretty there is, if we get the chance. Bring this right down here. He's got another leg right there. Right around the edge. There we go. Fill in the little body. And we'll give him some eyes and a little smile in a minute after he dries. Come on, little legs. Get you painted on here. Bring this over and right down through here. More black. Gotta be careful when you get to those little edges. It wants to pull it out. Bring that around here. There we go. Now our little spider's all colored in. He's looking cute. Okay, so we're going to rinse these off and get that green. And do the lettering. I'm using an apple tart, which is a yellow green. And we're just going to do the wording using the green. And I know this looks backwards to you. I apologize for that. But what I am doing right now is I'm writing the word welcome. This is the W at the very beginning of it. I will post a picture of what this completed kit looks like once we're done here, so that you can see it properly. Now we're on to the E. And for this, you definitely want to use your little bitty liner brush. The flat brush would be too awkward, too cumbersome to try to turn repeatedly sideways like that. And these are actually pretty easy to paint. Since it's cut in like that, you can see it pretty easily. Very easily, actually. And as long as you're not trying to make sure that you're getting it all the way to the exact edges of the cuts, you don't have a problem. If you're trying to fill in every little line, then you're just going to be here forever trying to do that. I don't try to completely fill. I just try to get most of it filled in. It's close enough, and that's good enough. You can read the letters. And you have to remember, this is going to be hanging up where people see it from a distance. So even if it's not perfect, it's going to look perfect from the street. So by now, this wood here this is the third layer of paint here, because we first did white, and then we did a layer of orange, and now we're adding our layer of green. And as with these kits, if you're going to hang this out where the elements can get to it, you always want to make sure that you get some clear coat, like Krylon or Rust-Oleum, or something like that, a clear coat spray, acrylic clear coat spray, and spray these. Spray the front, spray the sides, and probably a good 2 or 3 coats, letting it dry in between, and that way the outside elements won't hurt it. You do want to try to protect it, because if it's going to be right in the bright sunshine or it's going to get rained on or snowed on, then you do want to try to protect it. Because, you know, this is only an acrylic paint. Acrylic paints are water solubles. So you have to think about that. It has to be protected in some way if you're going to put it out or it's going to get wet. Which would be getting you a Krylon, a clear coat, spray, acrylic, a resin, something along that line. So that it can withstand the elements. Waiting on that black to dry. On to the word my. Well, as I say, what time are we at now? I can't tell. My computer just turned itself off. It's going wacko, I believe. Why, I don't know. Doesn't want to be responsible for any of that. Welcome, my pretties. We're going to get down here. I'm going to turn it upside down. Fill in the word pretties. And the P. Here's the R. Gotta get a little more on it there. What I like about these is you don't even have to be able to write it pretty. All you have to be able to do is just put the paint on it. And that's, you know, might seem daunting, but it's actually a pretty simple task. And if you get over the lettering, don't worry about it. Just let it dry and touch up around it with the orange. If you get it, you know, I mean, like way outside the line, do something crazy. Don't worry about it. Just let it dry. Touch it up with the orange. Going to the T's. Fill that in right there. Bring that down. Onto the I. And you think to yourself, what is the purpose of this? This teaches you patience, actually. It teaches you to slow down, to take your time. There are little lessons involved in each of these things. If you try to just whip it on here as fast as you can, you're just going to be creating a mess. So you take your time, relax, and enjoy the whole process of it. That's the whole idea, to enjoy the process of painting, to relax and enjoy. I have like Bob Ross, the joy of painting. Yes, the joy of painting. There is very much joy to be found in doing this. Okay, we need a little bit of purple for right there, don't we? Just rinse that off, get a little purple out. Excuse me. get my little flat brush back out. Just fill in this part right here on the hat, the little hat band. Comes right along through here. Oops. Got a little sloppy there. I have to touch that back up with the black. Although I don't know that anybody can see it but me, I might just leave it alone. There we go. Just give that a quick rinse. Touch of black. Smooth that down a little bit right there, and there we got that done now. Let me go to this little guy here. Get me a little drop of the white. Give him an eye. Give him another eye. Little smile. And there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you again real soon. All right. Bye for now.